Two teams will take the field in just a matter of moments. One of them will be moving on and one step closer to the ultimate goal of a national championship. The other will see their season come to a crashing halt. And with that, we welcome you to the Walden Soccer Complex on the campus of Columbus State University. Here on Cougar Sports TV, Stephen Williams here with you alongside my partner Tony Frankovich. And Tony, a rematch of this match that we had in the regional semifinals 1 year ago. They played it at Wingate, but number 1 Columbus State, number 5 Wingate going head-to-head, and a little revenge on the mind maybe of a Columbus State team that remembers last year.
Yes, most definitely. These two teams are well-deserved to be here. Wingate was very impressive in their win over Armstrong on Friday. Between two halves, they played pretty poorly in first half. Second half, they made change. They pulled their main goal scorer, Montgomery, in a holding mid position, and they finally link up between defense and forwards with Montgomery playing there. They knew they lost that leading goal scorer, but she actually made a difference in this game. And CSU, I don't know where to start. They have so many weapons, and it's going to be plenty of job for defense of Wingate to deal with the CSU forwards.
Two teams that are playing very, very good soccer of late. The record for Wingate, 13-2-4, but that's a little misleading because they've been much better than that. They started the season 1-2-2 over their first 5 matches. Since then, 12-0-2. They've had 12 now shutouts in those 14 matches, and they've given up just 2 goals during that time, outscoring opponents 40-2. So they're playing their best soccer right now.
They are very impressive defensively. They're very organized. I mean, that's a great coaching by Coach Wiggins. It's they defend well with the numbers, no nonsense defending. They have a really solid goalkeeper. And I think, this is going to be the toughest test for CSU this season.
Wingate will have the opening possession. They're in their road navy uniforms with white letters and numerals. Columbus State in the all-white home uniforms, navy letters and numerals for them. Wingate will be looking right to left as you're looking at it. CSU will be headed the opposite direction, left to right, as we're officially underway. NCAA tournament second round action here from Columbus, Georgia. Wingate getting a victory on Friday in the opening round of the tournament in the 4-5 matchup. Wingate, the 5th seed coming in here out of the South Atlantic Conference, won that tournament in penalty kicks as the ball is played into the near corner.
Both teams playing pretty much 4-3-3 formation. 3 forwards for Wingate. Obviously, Brooke Howell, for me, MVP on Friday's game. She was very, very dangerous on the flank. It's going to be a really great matchup over there between our player, Columbus State player, Andy Larice, and Howell.
Wingate, the starting 11 for them, Taylor Label, who scored the only goal of the 1-0 victory for them on Friday against Armstrong. Brooke Howell, a first-team all-conference selection. Macy Franklin, A.J. Lightbody, Caitlin Fletcher, Caitlin Brunworth, Mackenzie Cherniuk, Colleen Zickert, Naomi Matley as you get this one into the box, and it's cleared away. Touched last by Davis, and she'll get it out over the side as it was Howell that was making a run. Naomi Matley, Jade Montgomery, the first ever 3-time South Atlantic Conference Player of the Year, and then the goalkeeper, Ashlyn Hardy. This is Montgomery with it, trying to chip it towards the center. Davis again on the clearance in the way.
Wingate pretty much started to play this game as they finished off against Armstrong, and similar lineup. Obviously, they're playing Jade Montgomery as a holding mid there, and she's going to come up, try to score the goal as well. So they're very aggressive, so that's good for soccer. It's not going to be cagey game like was against Armstrong.
On the opposite side for Columbus State, they'll go with Malin Parsons in net, the All-Peach Belt Conference first-team selection. Casey Davis in the back line along with Jessica Sauer, Andy Larice, and Becca Calder. The midfielders, Shelby Rowling, the defensive centermen, along with Taylor Marks and Cassandra Wade, and then the forward trio of Nicole Corsione, Kelsey Pelletier, and Ashley Miller getting the start. Shelby Rowling on the throw here into the box, deflected away. It is worth noting that today does mark the return of Chelsea Pearson. At least she is cleared medically to play after sitting out nearly a month there towards the end of the season. They've been playing without her up top, and when she went down, she was the leading scorer on this team. She's not in the starting lineup, but she is in uniform and able to play if Jay Antlich so chooses to put her out there.
That's tremendous weapon to have a 6-7 goal scorer who made a lot of assists this year for CSU, and coming off the bench. That's quite a some weapon that Coach Jay Antlich have for Columbus State.
These two met in this second round of the regional semifinals. 1 year ago, Wingate was the top seed. Columbus State was the one coming out of the 4-5 matchup. The two played to a 1-1 draw and took it to penalty kicks, where Wingate eventually took down the Lady Cougars, which has been a common theme for this Columbus State program. 3 years in a row, they've been eliminated by penalty kicks in the NCAA tournament, and they have a group of 6 seniors and a group of other players that have played a while that have that on their mind and know that they don't want to be in that spot. So it's a rematch. These two have not seen each other since that point.
You know, key will be these outside wingbacks for Columbus State, Calder and Larice, to come up and attack out the back.
This is Zickert working on the left side, defended by Sauer. Trying to cross, Becca Calder had it played away, and a dangerous cross by CSU across their own box nearly resulted in an opportunity at the net. Instead, it's played out towards the near side. Light body working with Corsione from her forward spot, coming down to defend and forcing it out. So Wingate really kind of controlling the first 4.5 minutes of this one so far. Possession on their end in the attacking third. This is Label towards the net. Malin Parsons will play it on a hop.
This is similar what they did against Armstrong in the second half. They're really coming after Columbus State. As I said earlier, it'll be key if Columbus State can push those outside wingbacks up to attack, because it doesn't seem that neither Howell nor Label like to defend. So maybe you want to force him to do what they don't like to do.
That time Andy Larice was coming up the left side over there from her outside back position. The ball played all the way back to Ashlyn Hardy, who's coming off a National Player of the Week selection after the week she had at the South Atlantic Conference Tournament.
This game will be determined between these pairing here. Label against Calder, and over there Howell against Larice. The strength of Wingate in last game against Armstrong was going to Howell over there.
Cassandra Wade had it taken away for a moment. Montgomery coming up to defend. This one last touched by Pelletier on the clearance by Cherniuk. These two sides loaded with all conference performers. CSU set a Peach Belt Conference record this year with 8 all-conference selections, 5 of them on the first team, 3 on the second. Wingate putting 3 players on the first team for themselves, including the conference's player of the year in Jade Montgomery. Ashlyn Hardy and Macy Franklin.
I thought it was a cross all the way.
Those were second team selections.
That's a good move. Very good player, Label. Game winner from Friday game.
This is Label trying to play it off. Jessica Sauer from her center back spot took it away. Shelby Rowling will draw the assignment of Jade Montgomery tonight. That will be the matchup you'll have to watch on that end. We've seen Shelby Rowling at times this season man mark a couple of players, and that's something that Jay Antlich will ask her to do tonight with Jade Montgomery, the 3-time Conference Player of the Year. It's Montgomery that plays this one forward. Label not making a strong run at it. Just let it go all the way to Parsons in the back.
I think both of them, obviously, Rowling will be responsible for Montgomery, but also Taylor Marks will help there as well. It's a perfect matchup. Rowling is athletic, strong, hard tackler, and Montgomery is the same way. So that's really it's for Columbus State is a key is if Rowling can neutralize Montgomery. I think that's half a job done.
While Wingate won on Friday in the opening round, Columbus State was not playing. They were sitting in the stands watching as this ball's played into the box off the free kick. Wade heads it around. Eventually it'll be cleared away by Zickert. Columbus State, though, had the luxury of having a bye, but then you fall into there's two different thoughts. You could be the Wingate team that liked the fact that they got to go out here, play, stay in rhythm, or you have the Columbus State team now that's had a week off and had to sit and watch everybody and maybe try to work a little rust out early on in this one.
That's definitely, sometimes I say it's Wingate maybe will be tired, but I don't think so. These girls are top athletes, and they will go 90 minutes.
This is just the second game in 3 days for them. It's something very commonly done during the regular season because coaches know you have to do it when you get to tournament time. In order to win a national championship, you have to win 2 games in 3 days on 3 separate occasions.
And weather is quite friendly to soccer players, and it's not like 100 degrees when we did game earlier.
And
in
it's
the
not
year.
and it's not down in the 40s where it was on Friday night. It's actually a very pleasant temperature compared to what people were expecting. And they were talking about potentially having rain in the area, at least earlier in the week that was mentioned. And that looks like it's going to hold off despite the fact that we have clouds overhead. It should just be that, just some cloud cover, temperature in the 60s. As you said, very pleasant soccer weather.
Ideal soccer weather.
Pelletier, a nice job to keep that one alive, but nobody there to help her out. As this ball will be played down the field, and a good one played by Cherniak. Sauer kept it alive for CSU, keeping it in their possession. Howell coming over to challenge Davis defensively. Columbus State getting it in their attacking third now. Pelletier trying to touch it to herself. Instead, they'll swing it to the center of the field. Corsione with it now. She's been so good for CSU over the last couple weeks after having a really slow start to her sophomore year. Rolling, chipped it towards the far post on the left side. Corsione a little bit too strong for her to get to.
That was really good idea from Rolling, just a little bit overcooked that pass. But as I said earlier, Rebecca Calder here made that attack, and she was wide open over here, developing the play. And eventually, if Label is not coming back and defend her, they may cost him eventually.
Working down the far side, Caitlin Fletcher, the freshman out of Jacksonville, North Carolina. This Wingate team, a very, very young bunch. You look down the roster that Chip Wiggins assembled for 2014, and FR is written in a lot of places. There are a lot of freshmen for this Bulldog bunch, but he has his team playing their best soccer, and it's a sign of a good program. They were struggling a little bit early with all the youth and inexperience, and then they got better and better and better as the season went along, and he's got them now 1 game away from the Southeast Region Final.
I'm genuinely impressed with their team defending. Two center backs over there, Cherniak and also Franklin. They played perfect game on Friday. They are strength of this team. Also, goalkeeper. She is really amazing. She picked everything on Friday, and she's strength of this team.
Good ball by Matley, played down the far side. Zickert in the far corner of the field with Sauer defending. Sauer trying to take it away from her. The cross happens. Calder gets it away. Larice with the other clearance. So a couple players teaming up to get that one out of danger. The run this Wingate team, though, has put together is quite impressive. 40-2, and I don't care whether the competition was good, bad, or so-so. 40-2 is 40-2, and they've done it against some impressive competition as well.
They are tough nut to crack. It's going to be a real tight game, this one.
Columbus State will get a deep throw in the attacking end after that one's played over the side. 12 minutes gone by in this second round NCAA tournament matchup. The winner will advance on next weekend into the third round, the Southeast Region Final, where they will take on the winner of North Georgia and Lenore-Rhyne, a matchup going on right now in Hickory, North Carolina at Lenore-Rhyne. That one headed away by Montgomery, setting up a corner kick. By the way, just an update for you, North Georgia up already 2-0 on Lenore-Rhyne. So
it's impressive. That's very impressive.
The winner of that one will see the winner of this one, and it will be at a South Region school, still to be determined. They play the short corner. Pelletier back to Taylor Marks. Marks with the cross, and it was deflected again by a Wingate header. Caitlin Fletcher, the one, got a head on it, so we'll walk to the other side, and Columbus State will get another corner kick as Taylor Marks heads to the opposite side of the field.
That was really fantastic cross, just a little bit over the head, but also CSU attacking player did not tag that ball. Armstrong had quite a few opportunities on set pieces, but didn't capitalize on any of them in the first half.
Marks, the cross on the corner, into the center. Ashley Miller touches it to herself. Her shot is blocked. That'll be the first shot of the contest as it's cleared away.
They're really clean and neat in the back. Wingate, they're playing really good defensively. They don't make many mistakes. No nonsense defending, and main thing that's cleanness in their clearing technique.
Taylor Label playing the ball down the left side. Montgomery being tracked by Rolling. There's that pair again, and the cross hits off of Rolling and deflected over the end line, and now we'll walk to the other side of the field. And Wingate will get their first crack at a corner kick.
That's a difference a little bit between Armstrong and Columbus State. Armstrong didn't adjust to Montgomery. She was kind of free in the midfield. She created plays and won the ball. But right now she has a man marker, so she's not going to be as free as normally she is.
Towards the back post goes this corner. It was Rolling that got a head on it for Columbus State. Label keeps it alive. She'll try to play another cross. Deflected. And finally, the clearance out of trouble. So both sides getting an opportunity at corner kicks. Nothing coming from either one. Montgomery with the touchdown to Matley, but Matley couldn't control. Orsioni too strong, too much leg behind that one as the big hop bounces off the press box over here on the near side of the field. 15th minute of play. Stephen Williams, Tony Frankovich here with you on Cougar Sports TV. The final time we'll be here at the Walden Soccer Complex this season, regardless of today's outcome. No more matches to be played here at Columbus State this year. Wingate won't get any more home matches this season, regardless of what happens. One of these two is headed off to likely Rollins or Barry. So either Winter Park or Miami next weekend. That would be a Friday, Sunday.
Pelletier over there tried to use her moves, but this is really well organized. There was 3 defenders over there defending. She couldn't put that cross in.
Probably not a game where an individual is going to get a goal. It's going to take a couple of passes to set things up.
They do, but also like previous game that Wingate played against Armstrong, it was defensive mistake, that led to the game-winning goal. We may see something like that in this game. Over there, defensive step up by Armstrong. They left back, stayed back, kept on a Label, and Label was able to score the goal.
Cassandra Wade with a little room to work, playing it out wide to the right. Corsioni had it deflect off a defender, and another corner kick coming. Zickert stumbled on her way to get that one and lost it out over the end. So at the 29-minute mark to go here in this first half, Columbus State with its third corner kick coming. Taylor Marks once again to the near side of the field to take it.
Let's see if it can Columbus State make something out of this.
She drives this one low. It's headed away for a moment. Stayed inside the box. Wade couldn't control and cleared away. Matley trying to pressure the ball for Wingate as Davis plays it back to the attacking third, headed away by Zickert. Brooke Howell, the all-conference selection, the sophomore from Charlotte, throwing that ball forward in the direction of Matley, but way too strong, winds up with Parsons.
Both teams going to do substitutions, early substitutions, so coaches may see something that they can improve this right now stalemate.
Deflected, last touched by Ashley Miller, so Columbus State and Wingate will each make a sub, as you alluded to, for Wingate. Madison Van Wy, the freshman out of Ashley, Indiana, coming in. She'll replace Colleen Zickert. And on the opposite side for Columbus State, it's Kiana Nicholson, the junior who had such a good Peach Belt Conference tournament, coming in place of Ashley Miller up top.
Fantastic, Kiana. She scored a hat-trick in that conference final. and she's a difference maker. If obviously Kiana is very, as I was speaking before, she's very dangerous around the box. That little small area is her home right there.
Maybe the best on-ball skills
And
of any CSU forward, despite the fact that she doesn't lead the team in goals. Label plays it back. Light body drops it off for Montgomery, and Shelby rolling, of course, right there to defend. Played forward, going for Label again. Sauer working with Matley. Two sides that are very physical defensively. Nothing will come easy as Label tries to play it down the near sideline, but curved over the edge, and CSU will get it back on a throw. Under 27 minutes to go in this first half.
yeah, you're gonna earn everything on this game today. Everything you get is gonna be well earned. Nothing cheap here.
They'll switch directions, move it over to the right side of the field, allow Fletcher to come driving up. Chip towards the center, Larice cleared it away for a moment, right back to Fletcher. She'll get a second go at it. And now Howell's going to have to come try to get that, and she got to it before Parsons did, but chipped it high and a little bit left, so a dangerous chance throwing that ball up over the center back.
You know that was a fantastic ball by Fletcher. She's offensive right fullback over there. She's really dangerous player. But that was fantastic pass. Howell had I noticed Friday that her left foot is not stronger part of her game. So obviously, if it was her right foot, that would be goal. I think that was a little bit weakness of their left foot that was didn't. Prevented her to score the goal.
Pelletier, CSU trying to counter on the other side, throws it forward for Corsione. This one will be played out right in front of the Wingate bench by Macy Franklin, the other half of that center back duo you talked about earlier with Cherniak.
They are really first-class defenders.
So one shot per side so far, but the best chance of the match belongs to Wingate and Brooke Howell, a shot that went just a little bit off to the left, and Malin Parsons had a little to do with it. She came charging out, didn't get to it, but it forced Howell to maybe play it, as you said, with the foot she didn't prefer.
Yeah, she had like 3 opportunities, similar, half chance on Friday again, Howell did, and came to her left foot, and it was pretty weak effort from that side. Obviously, there's something maybe Larice needs to do over there to push her on her left foot, because her right foot is very, very good.
Nicholson tried to play it forward with the header. There wasn't anybody to play it to, but Bulldogs wearing blue jerseys. Fletcher off to Howell. Davis able to defend this one away. You don't expect this one to be a contest that has teams with 16, 17, 18 shots. It's going to be one with limited chances, and it's going to be about who can be efficient, and that's a word that scares Columbus State a little bit because they have not particularly been an efficient team. They're more of a volume shooting team, and eventually one will go in.
You get about 30 shots, and you may get 2 or 3. It ain't going to happen in this game. But pretty much both teams are playing very direct soccer. Long ball through, and hopefully you're going to win that second ball or third ball and score the goal.
They are very similar in style.
They are.
This is Larice, the outside back, charging up the left side, off to Corsione, to Marks in the center.
This is what I was talking about. Rolling header still open over there, Calder.
This is Nicholson. Wade in the same spot as she is, and Montgomery takes it away.
Could be trouble here.
Now they'll counter with some space to work. Label with 2 players out in front of her. Taylor Marks slows it for a moment.
That's good recovery. You know, it's a dangerous if you send that outside backs up there. You know, if they don't get the ball, then you might be in trouble. You know, in that time, you know, they played tight in the middle CSU. They didn't use Calder here, and she got caught way up the field when Label received that ball. That was opportunity that I was alluding before that CSU had to take chances. So, but you have to give the ball to those outside back when they go.
Light body to trigger the inbound. Under 23 minutes to go in this first half. Still scoreless.
It seems to me for Coach Chip Wiggins, he's okay with that outside fullback for CSU, Larice, and attacking up there. And he seems to be that he keeping Label and Howell way up there. He
Chel-
wants to hit him on counterattack.
Chelsea Pearson will sub on now. The first time she's seen action for Columbus State since October 18th against Clayton State. That was a game in which she was injured, has sat out since that time. Lady Cougars have managed without their leading scorer for a while, but now she'll see her first go of things here with a little over 20 minutes to go in the first half. So we'll see what kind of option she becomes. The cross trying to connect with Sabrina Frankel.
Malin did very good over there on that cross. Very confident take.
If you're a goalkeeper today, you better make quick and smart decisions. No hesitations, because that will turn into what happened earlier with Howell getting an opportunity to try to finish on a ball played over the top. You'll have a lot of decisions to make with those long balls, and you better be able to make the right decision and make it quickly. Here's another long one. Howell trying to get to it, and she'll fight off Larice to do it. Her shot is high and wide of the mark, off to the right.
Howell just gave her a little push to Larice in the back, but just enough within border of what's allowed. And she got that shot off. But both keeper, Hardy and Parsons, are very, very good keepers, strength of their team.
Ashlyn Hardy, we mentioned earlier, the National Player of the Week honor that she received after she had probably one of the better goalkeeping experiences you can ever have in the shootout, in the victory they had against Lenore Ryan in the SAC tournament championship. Saved all 3 shots that came at her. You'll go an entire season without saving 3 shots sometimes on penalty kicks, and she saved 3 consecutive, and on the biggest stage, winning a conference tournament championship. Howell again throws it out wide. Label coming back to the center, trying to set herself up into the center of the box. Casey Davis cleared it away.
Talking about Ashlyn Hardy, she's a big-time keeper. On Friday, she proved that. I mean, she's one of the best keeper I've seen playing on these fields.
And like Malin Parsons on the other side, she benefits from having a very good defensive back line as well. Your goalkeeper really is only as good as that back line is, because no goalkeeper can withstand 20 or 30 shots a night. But when you only have to make plays on about 6 or 7 shots a night, that's where the best goalkeepers come from.
You got to be 100% concentrate to every single play.
Bouncing around in the middle third of the field as we go under 20 minutes to play in this first half here on Cougar Sports TV. Stephen Williams, Tony Frankovich with you.
For a brief moment on that counterattack for Wingate, they had a Label wide open on this side. Calder pushed up way up the field, but they didn't see Label.
Label has it now as she comes back and shields off Taylor Marks. Calder trying to track her. They chip it over the top, and Malin Parsons will go to the ground to make the save.
He's a very dangerous player, Label. You know, she scored that 1 goal over there. She looks like in sleepy mode. Once when she got the ball, when she moved off the ball, she got some wheels.
CSU trying its opportunity at a long ball over the top. Nicholson couldn't just control it to herself, though. Good job by Fletcher to take it away, but then Fletcher gives it right back. Taylor Marks coming over to take it away, and Marks gives it back.
That was great anticipation by Marks. She intercepted that pass. But for some reason, they cannot switch point of attack, try to use open players on the other side. Because sometimes you don't have to go forward every time. You can cut it back, cut in the middle, look for next open man.
Columbus State making a couple of subs. Corsione and Wade will come out. Shea Wilby, a senior from Augusta, along with Mandy Janowitz, a sophomore out of Alpharetta, Georgia, coming in up top. So Pearson, Nicholson, and Janowitz, the 3 forwards now for CSU, as they've taken all their 3 starters off the field. But that's where Columbus State proves to have as much depth probably as anybody in the country, is at that attacking spot where they go about 7, 8, or even 9 deep at times up top.
It's
without
definitely
losing much quality.
exactly, but also, who's going to be hot today? I'm sure second half there's not going to be big subs. If somebody's hot, Coach Antlik will play that player for rest of the game, as he did Corsioni for 90 minutes up at North Georgia.
Decent numbers here for Wingate as Howell plays it right for Label. Defended by Davis. Davis took it away, and Larice comes over to help finish it off.
What a play by Davis. This is so difficult for defender to defend 1v1 very good player. Davis is just sharp.
And you knew in order for Columbus State to be successful today, it was those center backs that really had to be good because of the style that Wingate plays, how they throw that ball up over the top in the center. Those center backs are as important as Malin Parsons is back there making decisions in the back.
Exactly, and CSU has good ones as well. Big-time players, Sauer and Davis.
Taylor Marks plays the cross, cleared away by Fletcher. And some contact in the middle between Montgomery and Rolling, and our head referee lets us continue to play on. That's the style and tone that he's set so far. There's only been one foul called in the whole match.
It's a tough game, but it's a very, very fair game.
And check that now, make it 2 fouls as Columbus State picks up one. On their side of the field, it'll give Wingate a free kick as the Bulldogs have a couple of subs getting set to come in. They'll make them wait until the appropriate time. That's Cherniuk, the one to send this one toward the attacking third. Rolling headed it in the wrong direction, found Label off to Montgomery. Again, playing that ball over the top, and Taylor Marks came up from her midfield spot to head it out of the box. Label, not a bad idea playing that ball over there towards that corner, but there wasn't anybody going that direction. Actually played a pretty good ball.
That was good. That's called to make the target. The target is not there, but space is there, so she tried to make the target move in that area. Nice drop, nice idea. But between Label and Howell, they're always looking for each other. They're unselfish. They're really good team players, similar to CSU players. They are very unselfish. They're always looking for man in better position.
Label and Van Wy come off, and a couple of Wingate subs come in. Maggie Smith, the sophomore from Monroe, North Carolina, along with Mariah Coleman, the midfielder. Both of them coming on, seeing their first action here on this Sunday afternoon. This is an opportunity here for Frankel, and Frankel's cross deflected by that CSU back line sets up a corner kick for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, Label is a little bit gassed. She made a few big runs down the flank. So we'll see in second half whether Wingate, that game, that very tough game against Armstrong, really will have an effect on their conditioning in second half.
Another Wingate sub here. Samantha Leonard in. Frankel comes out as they come to the near side of the field for the corner kick. A driving one toward the near post, and Becca Calder, with Malin Parsons tracking her. Calder took no chances with it, though, and headed it right back over the end line.
That's a good play by Calder. Usually, when keeper, always call keeper, but if you have it on your forehead, on your foot, you clear it. Don't take chances.
They'll try it again. This time more towards the center of the box. It's loose for a moment, and Malin Parsons comes out on a slide. It was headed directly down, and Parsons, very, very quick, coming out of the net to slide and pick it up before anything else happens.
Steven, probably if a goal gets scored, it's going to be in this fashion right here off of set play or something, some loose ball in the box. I just don't see either team has ideas, to penetrate behind defense to create the goal scoring chances. Right now, they're very tight and stingy in the back, both teams.
It'll either be a set piece that creates it or a mistake in a back line.
Mistake.
That generally seems the way that this one's going to go, and that's how last night went. It was a mistake in the Armstrong back line that allowed Taylor Label to get loose on a perfect pass from Macy Franklin from the right side over to the left, and Label had an easy finish. All she had to do was put it on frame, and she did.
And that was a big goal. As you said, two center backs and entire defense stepped up, but they didn't look on left side. Left back stayed back and kept on man in the middle. So that's, if you center back, it's okay if you step quickly, but you got to make sure everybody's in front of you.
Kiana Nicholson is going to be just a step or so offside. The Referee on the near side of the field holding the flag up. So the offside call will put it back in possession of Wingate as we have about 12 and a half left to go in this first half. Still scoreless. Columbus State just one shot in the match so far, and it was blocked and didn't even make it anywhere near Ashlyn Hardy. That is a number that you never see out of a Columbus State team.
And CSU is very careful coming to this game, and they know ability of counter-attacking ability of Wingate, so they don't want to put. They do it at times, so you don't see like you normally see wide open game that they go having fun and attack. Not this game.
Everything is measured. Everything's calculated. Have to find the right opportunity.
It's the same thing with the Wingate. There's a lot of respect for CSU. That's why they're putting so many people in the back, and they're defending well with numbers.
Both sides with 4-3-3 formations.
That's a great ball.
And here's a ball played over the top, and the offside flag put up again. Chelsea Pearson, they're going to say, was a step beyond that back line this time.
Look even to me. Usually if they even, it goes, if there's no separation between defender and attacking player, usually you don't call that. If you see clear separation, you can call it. But for me, from my vantage point, she was even.
A stalemate so far between these two. They've played 34 minutes to this point. Wingate with a 4-1 edge in the shot department. Defensive battle. We went to halftime on Friday night without a goal between Wingate and Armstrong in the 4-5 matchup. And a half that was really more just defense oriented and not in the same way that this one has been. Just really no attacking opportunity from either and no real try at attacking very much in that first half. Today it's more wide open, but the defense is better than the offenses are at the moment.
Rest of the match will be similar to this. Unless somebody scores a goal, then other team has to push up and take more chances.
Sauer gambled and didn't get to it. Now Howell playing it out to the right side for Maggie Smith. Smith, the cross, rolled all the way on the ground through. And Sauer cleared it over the side for a Wingate throw.
This is a very, very cagey game, this one.
Bulldogs looking to cross again. The cross bounces around the box a couple of times. Finally ends up on the foot of Brunworth in the midfield. Howell comes back to take it away. Larice with her hands full over there on that other side. And now Larice is just going to play defense and shield out.
Foul.
And a foul coming up against Wingate's Brooke Howell takes Larice to the ground.
That was good defending by Larice. It's quite different for Howell this game and Friday game against Armstrong because Larice is a very good defender with a lot of pace. So that there's not as much advantage for Howell speed as in this game as it was on Friday.
Wingate keeping the pressure on. Nothing will come easy for either of these sides. There's going to be no ball that you can just play and stand there and stand over the top of. Both sides
is excellent.
Charging after it. To the center, there was one out to the left, one out to the right, and Nicholson went to the pass in the center.
Both Marks and Rowling were open. She went straight forward for it. But it was really good development out of the back for CSU. It's a little bit risky, but they developed it out of the back and almost created opportunity but it was just too anxious. Kiana Nicholson playing it straight to forward instead of using center mid.
Nearing 8 minutes to go in the first half. Still searching for goal number 1 as this ball headed away out of trouble by Casey Davis. Right at the 18.
Another good play by Janovic. Received the ball, played it back to full back.
Mistouched for a moment. Now Wingate with some space to work. Driving forward, Coleman. Davis right there with it. They give and go a couple of times. And for a moment, there was a chance there for Samantha Leonard. Leonard lost her footing, though. A couple of good one-touch passes, though, wiggling through that defense.
Looked very good. Looked very good. Good passes, one touch. and almost created a goal-scoring chance. But it was good defending by CSU. They stayed with the runner, and they made a play when they needed to.
A sub to each side. Emily Scully, the freshman out of New York for Wingate, coming in. Howell will come off. She's had a good first half, hasn't found the net, but had a good first half. And on the opposite side, Columbus State brings in another forward up top. Tori Hood coming on, the junior, coming in place of Chelsea Pearson, who played her first action in a month.
Definitely, Coach Chip Wiggins need to save the legs of Label and Howell for second half.
They'll give Scully an opportunity at a run here right off the bat. Sauer defending in the shield, does a nice job. Has that one roll over the end line, and another sub coming in, this time for Columbus State. Shea Wilby comes out. Stephanie Kolwitz, a sophomore from right here in Columbus in her first season after transferring from Division I Georgia State.
I looked at warm-up, and Stephanie Kovitz twisted her knee a little bit on the warm-up, so she was in a tear. She thought it was something serious, but I guess she recovered in time.
6.5 to go in half number one. Columbus State, the top seed in the Southeast region. Wingate, the number 5. And right now, the two of them playing to a 0-0 stalemate. A lot of momentum up for grabs, though, if you could steal one away here in the final 6 minutes. Leonard did a good job to keep that one in play and force Sauer to just clear it into the fencing over the side.
It seems Coach Antlik will play Kolowitz as a attacking midfield outside of her normal holding midfield position, because she has strong shot. Maybe that's that X factor that both coaches looking for. Somebody who can break this game, can make it wide open, who can make a difference. And I think Kolowitz, with her quality and shooting ability, could be the one.
Bad pass there on the throw, too strong, turns into a goal kick for Columbus State with 5:25 and counting. An update from Hickory, North Carolina, it's 2-1. Lenore Ryan has cut the lead in half on North Georgia. The winner of that one gets the winner of this one in the Southeast Region Final, the third round of the NCAA tournament. Davis has her clearance deflected. A nice job by Smith to keep it alive. And the bounce is fortunate for CSU to go away from the net where they get the clearance out. So maybe not the most crisp play there from the back line.
Cherniak is so solid in the back. You're talking about Davis and Sauer being sharp. Same these two center backs. They have Franklin and Cherniak. They are so sharp.
It'll be a Columbus State throw, no. The referee on the far side of the field said that it was a Columbus State throw, and our ref in the center overruled him. Didn't make the contingency there across the way. Very happy.
Yeah, pulling rank on him.
Down the far side of the field, Smith drops it off. Smith's been good and very, very quick coming off that Wingate bench. Kolwitz hits the turf trying to defend. Smith drops it off there for Brunworth. Brunworth to the far side, going for Fletcher, and Fletcher can't keep it in bounds right there at the far corner stick. Davis, the ball deep in the box now. CSU on that deep throw, forced to play from the back line, and now with a little room to work. Nicholson and Janowitz, the only two there, as Nicholson tries to drive past, and it's Franklin that plays it out.
I think that's not going to make it for CSU 2 versus 4. That's what I'm saying. If you see that matchup, you may want to cut the ball back and use your midfield and let Calvary arrive.
Janowitz trying to cross for Hood, cleared away. Light body that time, a good job to step in front of that pass. Down to 3 minutes to go. A Wingate sub coming on. Caitlin Liso, the freshman from Matthews, North Carolina, will replace Samantha Leonard.
Lightbody and Fletcher are really good defenders too. You know, they no nonsense. Fletcher is more attacking minded, but Lightbody covers really good. Everybody over here on this side.
Still just 5 shots in this first half between the two teams. One of them belongs to Columbus State, the other 4 for Wingate. And really, there's only been one great opportunity. That belonged to Brooke Howell, and she skied the shot a little wide left. Montgomery, the last touch of it there as we hit 2 minutes and 20 seconds to go in the first half.
So far, Shelby Rolling neutralizing Montgomery. We didn't see much of Montgomery, although she runs everywhere. She had a few half-decent plays, but let's see
Janowitz
this.
plays it wide for Hood. Hood can't get to it, though, before it goes over the end line. A little slow, played it too far out, the right idea, but Hood couldn't get to it with under 2 minutes to go now.
You know, I think both coaches right now want to go in halftime in locker room and things over, but I'm not sure what they can do to change this, what kind of substitution they can make or change of tactics. I think it's going to be stay same, just waiting for that glorious opportunity one, and if they score, they win the game.
You may only get 1 or 2 good chances the entire match. You better finish them off. Wingate's had 1, and they did not finish.
It's no doubt that's the kind of man. But, you know, soccer is hard sport. You know, you don't finish your chance, you know, maybe CSU going to finish on theirs.
Columbus State giving up the throw here with nearly a minute to go. What a goal would do to change the whole perspective of this game in this final 60 seconds of the first half.
This is a very, very tight game. I mean, as expected.
Columbus State with some room now. Kolwitz.
It's a great pass. Let's see.
Playing that Wingate style of ball right over the top center. Tori Hood had the race won on the part of Ashlyn Hardy to get it before Hood could. Down to 35 seconds to go. Sauer stepping in front of Liso. Took it away. And Calder, not the greatest of clearances, but the deflection helped it out.
That's that matchup.
Down to 20 seconds now as Nicholson tries to work forward for Janowitz.
Rolling winning every single 50-50 ball over Montgomery, which is huge for CSU. Montgomery is not factor in this game.
The countdown is on, and we will take it to halftime the same way we did on Friday night. First round of the NCAA tournament was 0-0 at half between Wingate and Armstrong. Second round of the NCAA tournament goes to halftime 0-0, Columbus State and Wingate. One of these two gets one step closer to the national championship. One of them will see their time come to a close.
I got a straight sense, Stephen, that this might go to PKs. I just have kind of gut feeling this might go to PKs.
Wingate, 4 shots in the first half. Columbus State gets 1. These two playing to keep their season alive here on Cougar Sports TV. They'll step aside for the halftime break, and we will take the break with them. Cougar Sports TV bringing you all the sights and sounds of the NCAA tournament here from Columbus, Georgia. Take the halftime break. Top-seeded Columbus State 0, 5th-seeded Wingate 0. Scoreless after 45 minutes of play here at the Walden Soccer Complex as the top seed, Columbus State University, fifth-seeded Wingate University, playing to a scoreless draw through the first 45 minutes here in the second round of the NCAA tournament, the Southeast Regional. The winner of this one heads to the regional final. It'll be played next Friday somewhere down in Florida, more than likely. So far, though, it's been a very defensive-minded game. Just 5 shots between the two teams. Only one of those by Columbus State, Wingate with 4, as we get ready for the second half of action.
I don't think anything is going to change in this game. I noticed that CSU going to put same lineup in there. I talked a little bit to assistant coach Rade Tanaskovic. See, they're going to play same way. Coach Jay, he says at halftime he's going to relax his players. Some of his players were very nervous for this game.
You have Columbus State coming out again. If you're just joining us in the all-white home uniforms, they'll be going right to left on opening possession as you're looking at it. And they're going to start the second half the same way they started the match. Corsione, Pelletier, and Miller up front. Wade, Marks, and Rolling in the midfield. Calder, Sauer, Davis, Larice, the back line, and Malin Parsons in net on the opposite side. Hardy in net for Wingate with the back line of Lightbody, along with Franklin, Cherniuk, and they'll also have Fletcher in the back line. Howell and Label back out there up top. After some rest there late in the first half, Montgomery, the 3-time All-Conference and 3-time Player of the Year. And then in the midfield, they'll go with Zickert. And they'll also give a start here in the second half to Mariah Coleman in the midfield.
Coach Chip Wiggins probably going he throwing caution to the wind. He putting Montgomery up on top. He moving her out of midfield, so he's going to go for it.
Caitlin Brunworth, the other one in the midfield, as Columbus State's going to score an early throw deep in the attacking end. Just one shot for Columbus State in the first 45 minutes. They'll try to change that here as Rolling's inbounds throw bounces around just outside the 18. Marks plays it. Pelletier on that right side. Pelletier looking for a cross, finds it.
Great
Miller
cross.
deflects it
That's
towards
a
the
goal.
net.
No.
And does it go in? They're going to say no, and it's cleared out
Wow.
over the side. The referee standing right on top of it. The assistant referee on the far side of the field saying that it didn't rattle around and go in either. And CSU beside itself at the moment.
Corsione over there could have tugged that ball in. She kind of celebrated already goal when ball was loose on the box. From this vantage point, I think ball was across the line.
So CSU will keep possession, but looked like an opening chance for them. Turns into nothing, and now they'll give it back on a goal kick. And I think Wingate, a couple of wry smiles from the coaching staff underneath us. I think they know they got away with one potentially there early.
I would say so. I mean, you can really blame these officials. They're amateurs. Professional officials yesterday, Austria and Russia game, ball clearly crossed the line. They had a fourth official at fifth on a goal line, and they didn't call goals. So you can't blame them for maybe not seeing that. From here, I thought ball hit right under crossbar inside of the goal.
Well, the assistant referee, far side of the field, was right on the goal line, and he was signaling the whole way that it never went in.
Well, we'll see it on ESPN tonight.
We'll watch the highlights later. This is Howell. They play it to her. It bounces over her head on the second ball. Played back, though, to Fletcher. Fletcher centering it up for Montgomery. Rolling not there with her this time. Montgomery has it at top of the 18. Drops it off, and the shot is going to be high over the crossbar for Zickert. So already we've played 3 minutes in the second half, and some of the better chances we've seen from both sides here in this entire match.
Rolling will not see Montgomery as much now because Montgomery is center forward right now. It's got to be Jessica Saar or Casey Davis. They need to, one of them got to mark her.
Montgomery coming up to get it now. Plays that cross, looking for Howell, headed away and then cleared off by Rolling.
El Tanque.
Corsione driving forward, head of steam. Had it deflected away, though. A nice job by Franklin coming up to wedge that one away from her.
Corsione was steamrolling down there, just had that little bit touch, that ball got away from her.
Laree stepping up, gambles though, and now she's not back in that back line and has to recover. They play it off. Fletcher looking to cross. It's headed towards the net. Montgomery got a head on it, but headed it wide of the far post.
That's your 15 goal scorer. I mean, she's really dangerous. He basically went back, Coach Wiggins, to the way he started against Armstrong. That's the formation that he player positioning, and he just gonna let Montgomery do offensively and move everywhere she's gonna be kind of having license to go anywhere she needs to go. Wherever she plays, pull her.
A little bit shaky here in the back line for Columbus State to start off the first 4.5 minutes of the second half. Wingate up to 6 shots now. Columbus State has its second. They thought they had the first goal of the match, though. Referee saying the ball didn't clearly go all the way across the goal line. And we still play with just over 40 minutes to go in regulation time at 0-0.
Jane Montgomery up top. That's a whole different new ball game for Wingate. Just we'll see whether they're gonna pay in a midfield as they did against Armstrong. But it was different when she wasn't there.
Brunworth commits the foul there as she takes Corsione down. 3 fouls per side in a very physical contest where they've let them play a lot. Davis, the free kick.
That's a good ball.
Into the center of the box, and it's the goalkeeper, Hardy, coming out and crashing into a couple of Lady Cougars. And now starting the counter with some space to work. Fletcher too strong on the touch, and she knew it right away. Larice able to step up and easily take it back to Columbus State possession.
Well done, Larice. That's what I was talking. She earlier in the first half, and when they just went forward with it, now they're playing back, they're settling down. I think Coach Jay Antlik, that's a halftime speech, no doubt. That's a coaching there.
Now they have Miller wide on the left side. Pelletier making a run, able to connect onto this one for a moment. Light body deflected it to that near corner and did a really nice job to get it without having to throw it out over the side.
What a great play by Lightbody. She came all the way across from right back, made a play on the right, on left back, from left back to right back.
Recovery there by Shelby Rowling, took it away from Taylor Label. Miller defended by Fletcher, trying to switch positions on the field to the far side. A counterattack coming, and people scrambling to get back in the back line. Both outside backs were up. Offside flag not put up as Howell has it inside the box. Sauer came over and one-on-one just took it away from her, and a foul from behind committed by Howell. But there it was, what we were talking about earlier. You had both outside backs that had come charging forward, and then on the counterattack, all you had going back were your 2 center backs and your center defensive mid, and everybody else scrambling in a hurry to get there.
Howell made that diagonal run across the box, and Davis thought she's going to be offside. I don't want to play. If it's me, I would stay with that man. I would go all the way through. That was just very fortunate for CSU not giving up goal at this particular time.
Pelletier drops it off for Miller. Miller in a double team, though. Gave it up, and now long down the field. No trouble here as Sauer will just watch this one roll, and hoping it'll go over the end line as Sauer, and it will.
Right now, 3 forwards for Wingate. They don't play in particular spot. For a moment, they kind of mixing up. They try to confuse a little bit CSU defense. They're making it. They almost did with that Howell run across. That's really fantastic run, world class run that she did. Service wasn't as what you would like to see.
Franklin plays it off into the center. Brunworth gives it up as Wingate tries to control possession. 8 minutes gone by here in the second half. Stephen Williams, Tony Frankovich with you on Cougar Sports TV. NCAA tournament, second round. As Rowling gives it up, Howell took it away, and then Rowling got it right back. As
She-
good as it gets one-on-one.
She's some player, I tell you. She's your warrior out there.
Miller down the right side. Deflected. Light body got a foot on it. CSU will score a deep throw in front of that crowd standing over there along that fence line. Good crowd on hand today at the Walden Soccer Complex. The weather being what it is probably helps the crowd get out here, because if it was like Friday night, I'm sure it would be quite a different story with the people on here with how cold it was in the first round match. Headed a couple of times. Played back into the box by Rolling. Cleared by Label. Montgomery with a quick flick trying to find Howell. Two defenders back, though. Casey Davis able to take it. Rolling, playing a header, trying to get a header through to Miller. Cleared by Light Body. Now a good run started by Coleman. Davis, the center back, broke down and let the body there stop the ball. Montgomery driving forward, Rolling coming up to get her.
Good play.
And Rolling did enough there defensively, as you saw our referee shake his head and say no foul. And now Corsione playing down with Franklin, and Franklin touched it last. Corsione will end up with a throw deep in this end for Columbus State now.
That was perfect play by Rolling over there. It was ball first. There was contact, but after was first contact with the ball.
Poor heading attempt that time by Light Body. Hardy trying to go get to it, and she's going to be unable to before it goes over the end line. So a mistake in the back line for Wingate that time, and it turns into a corner kick for Columbus State coming up.
Entire team, all 11 right now, are defending for Wingate. Coach Wiggins just sent all of his players. All three forwards are in the box, so he doesn't want to take a chance right now, giving up a goal. So everybody's in the box right now.
This is Miller to the near post. Bounce straight up in the
That's a
air,
chance
still
there.
loose. And Rolling tried
That's
to
a
head it. Here's a
chance.
second one,
Wow.
and that one saved by a defender. I believe that was Fletcher that got in there and actually saved that one from going in, as CSU trying on the rebound.
You're right, that was Fletcher off the line. The keeper was beaten. Hardy was beaten, no doubt. That ball was going in the net.
Now Howell down the right side on the counter. Casey Davis, the first one to get to it, and just sprays it into the Wingate bench. Fletcher with a huge job that time. With the right foot, kicked that one out from going in the net. So Columbus State has had two that have gotten dangerously close to going in, but we play still at 0-0.
That was two great breaks that they have. Wingate.
Montgomery one-on-one with Larice. Montgomery lays across on top of the net towards that far post. Nearly a phenomenal ball from Montgomery, trying to connect with Zickert.
That's a keeper nightmare when ball dropping from out of sky on far side. That's a Holy Mary ball.
And you
Keeper
watch,
actually say, Holy Mary, get over, please.
and you watch Parsons that time just kind of scramble in a backpedal mode, and it's tough to play.
She wouldn't be able to make that play. If that ball was going toward far side, she wouldn't save that.
Ball headed around in the midfield. Zickert with it now. Able to get it through a couple of defenders. They play it out wide left. Label with a couple of forwards. Howell and Montgomery in the middle.
Good defense.
Sauer comes over, deflects it. It's still loose, though. Brunworth up. Brunworth into the center for Zickert. Just on the edge of the box. Plays it back. Brunworth's cross. Gets all the way through to Montgomery. Dangerous player on the ball here for Wingate. Gave it up. Tried to get it. And now a foul coming up on the part of Caitlin Fletcher. Had it taken away by Pelletier and then tried to swipe at it with her foot and connected with nothing but Pelletier's shin.
Kelsey did really good at that. She stayed with the Fletcher there and was in the right spot at the right moment. Made a defensive play.
That's a forward coming all the way back to the box to help keep that one.
That's a difference a little bit between forwards. I don't think forwards outside, forwards, flank forwards for Wingate like to go back and defend. See, Howell is not staying with Larice. If Larice wants to go, she decided not to go, but she was open.
CSU with another deep throw coming up, this time from the near side of the field, rolling to trigger it in. Got it over the head of a couple of offensive attackers that time. Headed around, Marks plays it back out wide for Rolling. Looking for a chance to cross, she will. And it's headed right back out by Franklin.
That's well done. Switching, but that's a really good play for CSU. Good patience. It's come back. They didn't do this in the first half. This is definitely coaching point in the halftime by Coach Hentlick.
Closing in on the 60th minute of action here in the NCAA tournament second round. The number 1 and number 5 seeds going head-to-head. The winner to the regional final on Friday at the South Region host, whoever that would be. These two teams need 5 wins, counting today's, to win a national championship. Columbus State, the 5th-ranked team in the country, trying to get a little revenge from a loss to Wingate in this round 1 year ago over in North Carolina. That one, good touch by Jay Entlick on the side, showing off the soccer skills he had at Virginia Tech.
That's a hockey. Oh, he's happy that Hockey's beat Duke yesterday in 17-16. My team, Florida State, labor another one. I don't know how in the world we are still undefeated.
The energy and intensity building with 30 minutes to go. One of these two will wrap up the day with their season coming to a close. The other will still have the hopes of a national championship alive. Columbus State, 3 consecutive years, has watched their season come to a close in penalty kicks. So you know maybe mentally this team doesn't really want to get to that point again. They don't want to be forced to face that mental hurdle that has been for them in the postseason. There have been some very good Columbus State teams that were eliminated on penalty kicks in this postseason time.
Columbus State are not fond of PKs, nor am I. I remember with my teams, I don't know that I won maybe 1 PK and lost maybe 9. I'm Jim Kelly of soccer coaching.
Nicholson subbing in for Columbus State, as does Matley for Wingate. Matley coming in up top, and now with Matley out there, they've slotted Montgomery back into the midfield, so this is back to where they were in the first half.
They tried briefly to see can they get the goal with Montgomery up front, but they were losing in the midfield that battle, so they put her back in a midfield, which for me, I think this is better deal for Columbus State.
Takes one less.
She was
maybe the most dangerous player on the field away from the top. Doesn't mean she won't attack, but she's not primarily attacking. She's doing other things first.
It's also because CSU has a player who can match her, who can defend her well. So it's a CSU strength with Rolling matching up against anybody, and Rolling gonna neutralize her again. For the moment, I thought that's Coach Chip Wiggins gonna stay with her up front and take chances, but it was 10 minutes, lasted 10 minutes, 15.
This ball headed around. Corsione got a touch on it.
Pelletier
in the box. Just outside the 18. Leaves it for Wade, and Wade's shot's going to knuckle out wide right.
She passed that shot. She should have taken that shot. She had opportunity, brief window, a little window to pull that trigger. She didn't. She touched the ball and then had to play it back. They closed her down very quick. This defense is not going to give you much time on the ball. When you have it, you better take it.
Foul coming up against Wingate. The fouls starting to pile a little bit here after just 2 in the first half. Wingate has picked up 4 here in the second. Head referee choosing to make this a little bit more of a tight contest in this second half. Casey Davis with the free kick on the plus side.
That's a great ball.
Far post. Corsione, a header saved
Oh.
by Hardy. Put it right on target. And Hardy made the save.
This was serious goal scoring opportunity. Corsione wasn't able to play that ball on far post, but she was on good place and good goalkeeping. Hardy is big-time goalkeeper. Good positioning.
Nicholson with some nifty footwork bangs that one off the defender Fletcher's leg, and Columbus State getting a corner kick. Whatever was done at halftime for Columbus State has changed the offense around because they've already added 4 shots here in the second half after just 1 in 45 minutes.
Yeah, way more aggressive. They seems to be playing more carefree now. They play really tense in first half.
Taylor Marks to the near side corner. Corner kick number 5 for Columbus State. Plays it deep to the far post, rolling a header, knocked down by the defender. Cherniuk, the one that got a head on it. Jessica Sauer played that one out wide, and Sauer was well up from her center back spot to play on that one.
Sometimes good coaching is doing old-fashioned chewing of players in the halftime. That do sometimes wonders for you.
Columbus State better on the attack so far here in this half than they were in the first 45 minutes. We're down under 26 minutes to go now. 90 minutes of regulation. We play that if they're still tied. 10-minute overtime period. If they're still tied, another 10-minute overtime period. And then if we stay even at that point, we go into a 5 versus 5 shootout. Those are the last words that Columbus State would like to hear on this afternoon. They'd love to take care of business. Both of these sides would in regulation.
I think CSU more so. At this point, you know, I don't think Wingate without Montgomery up on top can hurt CSU. I just don't see it. But with Montgomery, that's different ball game. They were so dangerous with her up on top. But you know, I guess Coach Wiggins is more worried about midfield domination because he was definitely getting dominated in second half in the middle.
This is more of a defensive look from them to slot her back there because, as you mentioned, Shelby Rowling comes to mark her one-on-one when she moves to the midfield. When she's up top, she's just roaming free with that 4 of the back line, and it opened up some opportunities for her. CSU making a sub here. Chelsea Pearson in, Kelsey Pelletier out, so Kelsey some rest for her with under 25 minutes to go before you know she'll be in for the final stretch run. Chelsea Pearson getting a few minutes in that first half and her first action in almost exactly a month.
Columbus State definitely need Chelsea Pearson to shake off that rust and contribute today. I think fate of Columbus State might be in Chelsea Pearson's feet.
This is Howell. Huge factor in half number 1, and
wow,
that one
save.
tipped just high. Malin Parsons with the save. Howell with quite the strike that time, and if Parsons doesn't touch it, that one's headed into the top of the net.
I think CSU got to get closer to these dangers. They're goal scorers. Wingate's goal scorer. They're very capable of scoring from long range.
So corner kick for Wingate. It's Fletcher that comes to take it. Goes far post. Headed by Montgomery, who seems to get her head on every loose ball there in the box, but she headed it high and wide.
I know whose assignment she was, but she was wide open over there. That's unacceptable. I mean, there was nobody 5 yards around her.
They are tied now in Hickory, North Carolina. Lenore Ryan has battled back from a 2-0 deficit to tie it at 2-2. The winner of that one, the winner of this one, meet on Friday. Columbus State got to the regional final 2 years ago where they played Armstrong, who was the number 1 team in the country at the time, to a 0-0 draw and then lost in penalty kicks 6-5. Last year they were eliminated in the second round by this Wingate bunch. 0-0 where we stand right now, 22-35 and ticking in this second half. Corsione driving down the right side. The foul called by our assistant referee, and Corsione a little slow over there on the ground to hop up off the turf.
0-0 only a few minutes ago. It's compliment of Maylin Parsons and also an inaccurate header by Montgomery.
Corsione draws the foul, and now you'll get what is essentially a closer version of a corner kick coming up here. Nicholson will come to strike this free kick, which is interesting. You never see her take free kicks or corners.
This might be shot on a goal on far side. This is ideal position that you actually cross it, but in same time you're shooting at a goal with that in swinger.
And she is left-footed.
This is ideal position to do that.
This is
That's a great ball.
Nicholson
That's a goal. Oh,
towards the net
what a
and
save.
tipped away.
Oh, hit off of crossbar, I guess. I thought
Yes, it did hit the crossbar. It looked like it jumped up high. Hardy did to tip it away, but did. It hit right off the top of the crossbar and over the side, so Nicholson very close to putting that one.
That was save, because keeper seems to me beaten, and that ball looked good. Just didn't drop in time.
Label comes off. Leonard back in for Wingate. Label really has been zero factor in the second half. She was very, very good in half number one, but some adjustments made have taken her a little bit out of play up top.
I think she's tired. If I'm betting man, I would say she's tired. She worked extremely hard on the Friday game. She was gassed early.
Decent numbers for Wingate. Howell, defended by Larice. Howell just nearly scored the first goal of the game, and now she'll look to cross, and the cross deflected by Larice sets up another Wingate corner, and now somebody in a Columbus State uniform better find 26 in blue. She's found the head. She's found the header a couple of times, off corner kicks, hasn't connected, but how many times can you let her get a shot off like that without her finding the net?
Montgomery's on top of the box. She makes the ball is out.
That ball, they're going to say from Fletcher, crossed over the line and then hit off the crossbar. So not a great corner attempt from Fletcher as Columbus State will send on Mandy Janowitz in place of Corsione. Will get to shake off the rust from that foul she took with 20 minutes to go now. And she will be, back in here before too long.
It was good shift by Corsione. She was dangerous, created that chance down there, that foul, and had that header. I'd be surprised. I'll be shocked if she doesn't see more field.
This is Montgomery in the midfield. Plays it out wide, trying to get Fletcher, the outside back, charging forward. And now some space going the other way. Franklin racing over from her center back spot. A nice job by the Bulldogs center back. Larice keeps it in bounds. Needing to get rid of it, finds Janowitz. Janowitz tries to cross it, backheeled touch by Zickert. Kept it in the Wingate end. Second ball, good job by Nicholson to judge it well. And now asking for a run to happen as Pearson out in front of her. Janowitz was over there as well, and this one will wind up with the Wingate coaching staff underneath us with 19 minutes to go. CSU back with possession. Nobody has scored. The chances, though, have been better here in this second half. Columbus State thought they had one in the opening minutes of this.
I think, quite honestly, I think they did.
The referees say that it didn't go in. Then they had another opportunity at one later. A good header from Corsione off a long free kick that was saved. A nice job by Hardy to keep it out of the net. Another chance later where Fletcher, playing the ball as the goalkeeper, took a rebound and cleared it away from the goal line. Wingate had a couple of chances. Had one just a second ago on a corner kick that Jade Montgomery sent a header out a little wide left. Another chance from Howell, striking from about 25 yards out. Forced a save to be tipped over the net by Malin Parsons. CSU then nearly got one in on a free kick from Nicholson that hit the crossbar. So sooner or later you feel like it's going to open up and somebody will get a goal, but we're down under 18 minutes to do so.
Larice here, when she defended earlier, Howell, she first pushed her in the middle, then she pushed her wide. I think that's wise to push her in the middle where your strength of your defense is.
Davis with the clearance. Janowitz there. 50-50 ball up for grabs. Second ball controlled by Brunworth. Nerves, you wonder if they start playing a factor as you get late in this one. Nothing decided. Your season's hanging in the balance. Ball played out into the center. Leonard making a run at it. Calder hits it out over the side. The referee in the center going to say, though, it was deflected, and it'll be Columbus State throw as Montgomery got ready to chip it in. NCAA tournament, second round from Columbus, Georgia, the Walden Soccer Complex. Top-seeded Columbus State, 19-0-1 as Howell gets loose in the box for a moment. Parsons comes out as Davis and Larice shield her off, and Casey Davis a little gimpy getting up.
That was really, really good defensive team play between Larice and Davis, closing down Howell. That's just quality of those two defenders that denied that goal-scoring opportunity.
19-0-1 for Columbus State, 13-2-4 for Wingate, but Wingate 12-0-2 in their last 14. 12 of those were shutouts. Matley trying to play it through to Howell. Larice cleared it from danger.
There's no doubt that this lineup that Wingate has, that Howell is the one they're going to go for. That's what they're looking for. It's hardly they're looking on left side since Label is not in. They're looking for her here, that she finished the job.
And when you're looking at things for Wingate, you have two options. You can play Montgomery in the midfield and control possession, or you can play her up top and have better finishers up forward. Right now, they're getting possession better than they did early in the half, but not as many people, at least quality players, off to finish that at the top the way Montgomery can. But they are definitely getting better possession, as Montgomery right there won the ball away.
Definitely, she cleans a lot of stuff there. She's a very active player, proactive player, and she gets to everything there.
Montgomery again, the one that plays this one wide for Fletcher. Larice touched it down, but right to Howell, who gives it off. Fletcher now playing that long ball over the top. Parsons, a late decision at first, was going to stay in the net, decided to come back out, and will pick it up on a couple of hops.
Fletcher is a very good player. She's a good offensive player, too.
Under 15 minutes to go. Final 15 minutes of regulation. Shots nearly even now, 8-7.
Nice plays.
Couple of one-touch passes there for Columbus State, but Franklin comes to take it away, and she will attack at times. She set up the goal.
Whoa.
Players got their feet tangled up. Howell hit the turf, and a foul goes against Larice, and here comes a dangerous set piece from nearly the same spot. Columbus State had one on the other end of the field. Fletcher, the one that's going to come up and take it.
It wasn't intentional foul, but foul is foul.
Got their feet tangled?
That's it, but, you took an offensive advantage.
So Fletcher set to hit this one. Nicholson and Janowitz forming a wall. Parsons directing
Still,
traffic.
26 is wide open over there. There you go. They got to stay with her.
Pearson, first one to touch it. Marks was the second.
It's amazing, Montgomery. She made a play right there. She was on far post, and she ran over here and made a play. What an active player.
Matley off to Brunworth, 30 yards out or so. Montgomery pushes rolling down from behind, and you have to wonder after a while if Montgomery just gets a little frustrated because Shelby stands with her everywhere she goes right now. Montgomery that time just two hands into the back of rolling, shoved her to the ground. Nicholson now on the run, has Pearson going out with her. They drop it off. Pearson driving towards the box. And Pearson run over by Fletcher. No call made, but Fletcher touched it last, and CSU gets the corner. It was a dangerous physical move that Fletcher made right on the edge of that box.
She got the ball first. That's a great play. I guess she knows what she's doing. If Pearson touched that ball in the middle, that might have been very tricky situation for Fletcher, but like this, she did fantastic on that.
Final charge for Columbus State as its three starting forwards go back in. Taylor Marks to take the corner. Goes to the far post. Got through everybody for a moment. Ooh. Rolling with the left foot, and it's saved on a dive by Hardy, setting up another corner. CSU, though, now with really four forwards in the game because they left Nicholson out there, took out Colwitz, a midfielder. So putting four forwards out there, letting Pelletier probably play out of the midfield. Miller from the other side now goes near post, didn't get it far enough. Gets it right back, though, a second chance. Chips it to the outside of the 18. Ooh. It's loose in the box. Taylor Marks didn't know where it was.
If she did, she would have a good goal-scoring chance there.
So you look at it now. Kelsey Pelletier looks like she will play out of the midfield. Nicholson, Corsione, and Miller will be your forwards.
Yeah, Nicholson will be wide and Peltier wide. Nicholson left, Peltier right, and Peltier will be attacking midfield.
Defense scrambling for a moment there for CSU. But Marks able to win it away. Franklin, a good job coming up to stop that pass, rolling in a foot race with Brunworth.
It's pretty much Coach J making 4-2-3-1 formation. 4 in the back, 2 in a midfield holding, midfield 3 across the attacking players, attacking midfielders / forwards, and 1 center forward with Corsioni.
Foul on Wingate. Gives it back to CSU on a free kick. Closing in on the 11-minute mark. Header forward. Pelletier trying to make a run at it. Cherniuk, the one who got to it first.
They're going to try to unbalance that defense of Wingate with Pelletier making runs from the deep, unmarked, from that attacking midfield position. So that she might not be accounted for. So almost worked that time.
Couple of changes up top. 2 new forwards in for Wingate. They'll send Frankel in along with Smith. Matley comes out, as does Leonard. We still haven't seen Label come back in after the substitution. She came out earlier.
You read my mind. I was looking down on the bench where she is. I don't see her.
Montgomery on the move now. Wide for Howell with room to work. 3 attackers to her left. Larice defending. Howell dribbling in, still getting closer, and it's deflected out by Sauer. A corner kick coming up for the Bulldogs.
She set up Howell that good right foot cross that at the end work out for CSU, but it was good move. She came in the middle, but Larice gave her opportunity to cut back to her right foot.
6th corner kick for Wingate coming up. Fletcher again to take it. CSU with all but 1 defender in the box. Drives it towards the center. Davis got a head on it. Clears it from trouble for the moment. Lightbody tries to put it right back in. Winds up with Zickert.
You got to pressure that ball.
Chipping it towards the center. Larice, the header. Wow. It's loose. Plenty of room to strike here, but the strike on the part of Frankel is wide right.
You know, they gave opportunity, CSU gave opportunity to Wingate to make that play. When they received the ball over there, CSU midfielder stayed back, gave him room, time to look on far side, and they were able to find that those players on far side. You have to charge at those players. Don't give him time to look. Let him play one touch and wherever it goes.
This is Larice. Under 9 to go now in regulation. Stephen Williams, Tony Frankovich.
Larice playing a heck of a game. I mean, she has most dangerous player on team. She marking her and she doing perfectly correctly her job.
Davis coming up, flying forward. Good touch forward that time off the head of Pelletier. Nicholson out there as it's played forward. Frankel tries to flick it on. Marks into the midfield as CSU trying to control possession with 8 and change to go.
This is more CSU soccer right now. They play this is how number 4 team in the country plays.
Nicholson fouled from behind, light body, too physical as Nicholson gave it up, and another. How many times have we had dangerous free kicks, CSU and Wingate, in this contest here in the second half? Here comes another chance.
Let's see, can they whip that ball in? As I said, I like that ball to go on the target far post. And if somebody touches in, fine. If not, the ball may go on its own. It's going to be in-swinger. But I think, yeah, it will be.
Taylor Marks is over there. Pelletier is standing there with her as they talk things over. 3-person wall built 10 yards away. Referee directing traffic, telling them to back up a little bit.
It's not going to be. It's going to be out-swinger.
Marks and Pelletier there. Pelletier not going to take it. Marks will. Into the center. Headed around. Sauer coming back to get it outside the 18, being defended by Franklin. Trying to hit it off of the defender and set up a corner, but Fletcher did a good job.
That was good play over there. Pelletier make the overlapping run. Nobody from Wall stayed with her. If Mark could just see it and squeeze that ball in, it could be a really, really good opportunity.
Down under 7 minutes to go now. Nothing on the board. Chances have been plentiful here in this second half. Nobody has finished one yet. Does
Good
somebody
ball.
have a late one? Pelletier and Franklin both go down. They play on. Rolling,
There
heads
you
it
go.
forward. This is Corsione with the left foot, and it's
No,
saved
what a
by
save.
Hardy again.
Phenomenal save by Hardy. She came out and that's a reflex save. That ball was in. That's a world-class goalkeeping by Hardy.
Corsione, one of CSU's best strikers. Hardy with the diving save took away what would have been a devastating goal for Wingate.
That was purely reflex, left hand reflex there that she tipped that ball wide.
Corsione
That's
again
a foul there.
gives it up as we hit less than 6 to go.
CSU right now clearly dominates this game. You know, this is danger here. You know,
It's the
On
counterattacks that could beat
that's Montgomery.
Columbus
Here
State
she
here.
goes.
Montgomery looking to cross to the far post. Nobody there to receive it. She split Smith and Howell looks like she may be a little bit gassed up top.
She is gassed. She was gassed in Armstrong game, and but what they missing there, who would be there, is a label. She's usually on that side, on that left side, and outstanding player and goal scorer. It was similar situation. They scored a goal, had opportunities against Armstrong.
She came out early in this second half, and we have not seen her since. And now we're down to 5 minutes to go in regulation. NCAA tournament season on the line for both of these two.
I see Label sitting on a bench over there, dressed. So we may not see her rest of the game.
This is Nicholson working with Franklin. Nicholson, the cross. Hardy's going to come out and catch it before it connects with a CSU forward.
I'm genuinely impressed with Hardy. It's a best goalkeeper that played on these fields that I've seen, that I witnessed. I mean, those are just world-class saves that she made.
She has made a couple of really good ones that have kept this game at 0-0. Montgomery out wide to the left. Frankel, Calder defending, looking to cross with the left foot, able to get it all the way through, and Smith
Wow.
nearly got a head on it. It's going to slide all the way to the opposite side and out for a throw as a sub coming in for both sides here. Dangerous cross there, though.
A little bit bigger cleats, and she might have got to that.
Smith comes out. Coleman comes back in. Wilby comes in for CSU. Ashley Miller comes off, so now CSU will go back to Pelletier being up top with Corsione and Nicholson. Wilby will be in the midfield. So they tried the attack with 4 forwards for a moment. Nearly got a goal with Corsione, but now they'll go back to their traditional 3 forwards up top.
Yeah, it's on the 4 minutes, so they don't want to take any chances right now.
Is there late magic left for one of these two here in regulation? 3:20 to go. Nothing
Well
on the
done.
scoreboard so far. Casey Davis, the header, plays
Wow.
it to herself.
What a player Casey Davis is.
Senior year for her and 5 others on this Columbus State team that have watched their seasons come to a close in penalty kicks in the NCAA tournament all 3 years of their career.
This was must-win ball for her in the air. She had it because if she didn't, Howe was lurking on to go toward the goal. And not only that she won that ball, she won second ball, her own rebound.
Nicholson now. Slid out of there by Franklin. Nicholson, a good athletic move to jump in the air to get away from it so as not to deflect it.
I think Rolling's going to put that ball in a mixer over there and see what happens. This is chance, I think. If CSU commits a little more players in by 4, got 8 players.
It gets through, loose just outside the 6, and finally cleared away by Coleman. Closing in on 2 minutes to go in regulation. If we stay tied, they'll take a break, and then they'll come back for a 10-minute overtime sudden death period. Light body, able to win away the 50-50 ball from Pelletier. And Lightbody, as
She's
you said,
struggling there.
struggling to get up, still trying to hop to her feet. Now they will whistle and stop the clock with 1:48 to go.
Sign of good coaches, good coaching, big-time coaches. You can tell that neither of these two coaches sub their back four. They're going with same guys that they started. They still in, and Lightbody was really outstanding player defensively for them. Didn't see much offensively. She coming up. Fletcher seems to be more offensive outside back, wing back more type, but Lightbody just perfectly did her job too.
108 seconds left to decide a winner before we head to overtime. That ball headed around and caught somebody square on the side of the face for Wingate, who's doubled over and down now, and they're going to have to stop the clock again because there's a player that's down just outside the box. It was a header that was deflected right into the face there. It was Cherniuk who had the initial header. And it's tough to tell who it is that's down over there on that side. There's just a quick deflection, though. Really nothing anybody could do about it. Just wrong place, wrong time. And with 1:37 now, the staff out to check on her. It looks like Mariah Coleman, the freshman that's out there, took that one and being checked on right now.
It's a head injury, Steven. You know, we know heck of a lot more than we used to about head injuries, and that's concern for everybody, and it's the right thing. I mean, you have to stop the game. Even in professional game that used to, if you're missing half a head, they didn't stop the game. In professional soccer, even now, if it's head injury, they're allowed to stop the game.
So they will check on Coleman out there. We're still sitting 0-0 at this point.
Well, it seems to me it's gonna stay 0-0. Earlier, when the CSU had that long throwing, it's very hard to do anything when you have 4 people in a box and there's about 7 or 8 defensive players. Basically, two versus 1. Sometimes you just have to send more people, at the minimum 6 in there to have a chance to get to that. Maybe not winning that first ball, but to get that second loose ball.
Both goalkeepers so far have made a couple of really big plays inside the goal. Malin Parsons stuffing away that shot that Howell took from long distance, a strike that would have either deflected off the bottom of the crossbar and gone in, or would have just gone straight in the top of the net, one or the other, as they try to help Coleman off the field over there. Chip Wiggins, the head coach, on his way out now to...
Oh, shit, it's her foot.
I don't know if they're helping her off because she's a little woozy, maybe.
Maybe.
Or if they're helping her off because she is a little hurt.
She kind of favoring her left leg. Let's hope and pray that everything's going to be okay with her. You hate to see players unable to play at this stage of tournaments, especially at this stage of tournament.
137 is all that remains here in regulation. These two sides have battled for nearly 88 and a half minutes, and nothing has shaken out. Impressive job by Ashlyn Hardy in net. Has made a couple of tremendous saves on Columbus State shots. You also had Caitlin Fletcher get in the mix and deflect one from right out in front of the goal line.
And we'll see whether that was goal or not. Probably you can see on replay. But pretty much, players were positive that was goal. A reaction of players, you normally see it. I saw it even Wingate players, and the moment stopped on that. They thought it was probably in, but there was no call.
They get Coleman over to the chairs. Just underneath us to check on her, make sure she's all right. We play on, though, with under 1:20 to go now. Chance for somebody to put in a crushing goal here in the final minute.
They last 2 minutes, they put Montgomery up on top, so they're going to go for it.
Pelletier had it deflected by Franklin as we go under 60 seconds to go.
Well
Larice charging forward.
What a game she played today, Andy Larice.
She earns the throw for Columbus State now with 45 to go. Larice
There you go.
going to the far side. Got over the head of Corsione in the center. Rolling, keeps it alive. Pelletier trying to get it back to Nicholson with 35. Nicholson working against the defender Fletcher there. Driving towards the box now. Stepped away from her, and Wingate will look to counter. They subbed on Madison Van Wy on that injury. Montgomery playing it forward. Parsons coming out. She's going to pick this one up just inside the box with 15 seconds to go, and we are likely headed for sudden death overtime here in the NCAA tournament second round. A fitting end to regulation here between these two teams that have been so evenly matched, and as the horn sounds, we will go to overtime here at the Walden Soccer Complex. And by the way, they're going to overtime in Hickory, North Carolina as well.
2-2?
2-2. So the Southeast Regional semifinals both headed to overtime. 0-0 where we stand here, Columbus State and Wingate. And so let's start maybe with the second half. Wingate, a tale of really two separate halves inside the half all by itself, where they had Montgomery up top, got a couple of good looks with her up there, then they backed off, controlled possession more, but really didn't have chances at the net.
Last 2 minutes, he put her back up on top, tried to get the break. But, you know, we expected it's going to be a tight game. That's not much that's separating these two teams. And to me, looks like only things that's going to separate them is penalty kick shootout. As much as I hate to say it to all CSU fans.
And then on the other side, the second half for Columbus State, it was a frustrating first 45 minutes for them. They got one shot, and that one was really from 20 yards out, and it was blocked before it got more than about 5 yards towards the net. Second half, they come out completely different. They had the chance right off the opening kick on that corner that they thought went in, and chance after chance after chance after chance, and it was either Hardy, Fletcher, they had a crossbar in there. Time and time again, though, the offensive attack was better for the Lady Cougars in half number two.
Definitely two different teams. Like CSU first half, it's the second half is like they have bipolar personality. Very shy and scared first half, nervous second half. They can play more carefree, play more CSU soccer. Although still at the moments, you know, I believe they're forcing the ball a little bit too much. They have to play the way what brought them here. Their skill soccer, developing the play from shifting from side to side, point of attack. I think, you know, the second this sudden death overtime. Now we don't know which team's going to take chance. I just don't see it that either of those two teams going to just go for it and make themselves, because there's no coming back. If you get scored on, kiss goodbye.
For Columbus State, they played 2 overtime matches this season. The one, I guess you could say, blemish on their record this year was a double overtime tie that they had at Lee University up in Cleveland, Tennessee. Let me correct it. They've actually played 3 overtimes. Only 2 of them have gone down and counted. They played 3 overtime matches, but they had the draw at Lee. Then they had a double overtime victory with just a few minutes left on the board at Armstrong. And then they had a double overtime loss to Clayton State on October 18th that has since been vacated because of an ineligible player on the part of Clayton State. For Wingate, this is not uncharted territory for them at all. They have 4 draws this season that they've played through the duration of double overtime. And then you look at it, they've already been to penalty kicks one time this fall. And so that may be, if we get to that point, an advantage for Wingate. 1 week ago on this day, they had penalty kicks, and they beat Lenore Ryan for a conference tournament championship there.
No doubt, they seem to its advantage, Wingate, and also, you know, with the hot goalkeeper that they have I tell you, you know, if I'm CSU, I would go for it, try to win the game in regulation.
The winner of this one moves on to the third round of the NCAA tournament, the Southeast Region Final. Fitting end to this Southeast Region semifinal round with both matches headed to overtime. North Georgia and Lenore Ryan, the other semifinal going on up in Hickory, North Carolina. That was 2-0 North Georgia 12 minutes in. Lenore Ryan rallied, sent it to overtime. And the cool part about these two semis is they're going on at the exact same time. They're at the exact same junction right now, and both of them are heading to overtime at the exact same time.
You know, North Georgia was up 2-0. They always Chris Adams doing really good job up there. They are very highly motivated team. Nothing seems to can shake them. They have two heartbreaking losses to CSU, but every next game they came hard. They play so they are very highly motivated team. So they came strong. They scored two early goals, but you know they got scored on one, and as I told you before, and Coach Jay told you same thing. Most dangerous score in soccer is 2-0. It's very tricky. If you get scored on one, then it's panic button usually goes in players' head, not coaches, maybe players' head sometimes. You know, they worry about that tying game. Right now, it's anybody's game up there as it is here.
The 5-minute break before overtime winding to a close. We'll play sudden death for 2 periods. If nobody scores in either 10-minute frame, we'll go to 5-on-5 penalty shootout to decide who advances on. 10 minutes here, then we'll take a 2-minute break, 10 more, and then another break, set up for a shootout. Columbus State, the number 1 seed, 19-0-1 on the season. Wingate, the number 5 seed, 13-2-4. But Wingate now, over its last 15 matches, counting this one, has given up 2 goals. Just 2 to go along with 12 shutouts, and they're working on a 13th at the moment that's in progress.
With
So
that
these have been some
defense-
stingy defenses.
With that defense and that goalkeeper, I can see why.
So overtime here at the Walden Soccer Complex.
They definitely are a solid team all around, but their defense is definitely their strength. You can tell, and as they always say, the same thing with CSU. Defense is real. We were talking that so many forwards CSU have, that they so many different goal scorer, but everything starts with that defense. Today, that defense play perfect game.
Columbus State won the toss, so they'll get the opening possession here to start overtime period number 1. 10 minutes on the board, 0-0 where we stand. Wingate, Columbus State. One will march on, one will see their season end as we're underway in sudden death overtime.
Montgomery is up on top. I think Coach Chip Wiggins going for it. He's going to try to get the goal.
This is Frankel in the middle. Frankel working as a forward along with Howell and Montgomery. Still no label at this point, so you assume her day is pretty much done.
I see her down on the bench. She's still dressed, sitting on the bench comfortably, so I would assume she's done. It's pretty safe to assume that.
Columbus State went back to its original starting 11. Miller, Corsione, and Pelletier, the 3 forwards. Marks, Rolling, Wade in the midfield. Larice, Davis, Sauer, Calder the back line, and Parsons in goal. Howell, Frankel, Montgomery up top for Wingate. Van Wy in there in the midfield along with Zickert and Brunworth. Then it's Fletcher, Franklin, Cherniuk, and Lightbody in the back line. Hardy in the net for Wingate in the all-navy. Columbus State in the all-white, as we've already played 70 seconds of the first 10-minute overtime period. Sudden death, 1 goal, sends you to the next round.
Montgomery on that goal kick, she dropping in the midfield, as it now, that what's called in soccer false 9. She's not pure center forward right there, she's more withdrawn forward.
Trying to center it up, looking for Miller. Had it deflected away. Columbus State was the last one to touch it. But Ashley Miller does a nice job to keep it from a goal kick and forces it into a throw.
This is the position where you need to pressure him hard and squeeze him tight there and try to win the ball there. Keep it on their half. For CSU, it's would be very profitable.
Rolling will keep it on that half, and this time it goes out right by the corner stick.
This is perfect to make pressure, high pressure on team.
And they do get the turnover. Rolling plays it towards the center, deflected right back to her, trying to throw it up over the top. Pelletier was the one making a run. And Hardy comes out to grab it as we near 7.5 to go in overtime number 1.
You know, one thing you pressuring over here off of that throwing, you got to have somebody wide on the other side. If you win that ball, you can swing it right away on the other side. Everybody was pinched in and for that in that position in that situation for CSU.
These two played overtime in this round last season up at Wingate. They were 1-1 going to overtime. They played through the 2 overtimes. Nothing happened.
This opportunity for set play for Wingate, although no, can Fletcher throw the ball far? No, it's going to be short throw. That's a good play.
Matley, top of the
She's wide
box.
open there.
Got it through Marks. Zickert on the ball now.
Good
Off to
step to her.
Matley. Davis able to clear after the deflection. CSU really not attacking at all
No,
that ball.
they got to step to her. You know, that was a little bit really lethargic defending by CSU.
And now Corsione one-on-one with Franklin, driving the other way. Got past her. Corsione looking to shoot with the left, and it's saved by Hardy. The shot probably going to miss out wide of the post, but Hardy went ahead and made the sure save anyway, and a corner kick coming up for Columbus State.
I'm not sure, Steven, that ball
think
may,
it was bending
may
back?
sneak up on that far.
It started wide of the post, but with that left
Yeah,
foot, it could have bent
bender,
back
yeah.
in. Marks taking the corner, the 8th of the match for CSU. Very deep and towards the outside of the box, and Rolling's header will work its way out over the end line.
They definitely tried to keep the ball away from Hardy, just was a little bit too far. Maybe it would be better to cross it just outside of 6-yard line. You have more chance to get the ball because inside of 6 yard on our goal, Hardy is just the queen of her area. You can't touch her there.
Emily Scully coming in up top. We didn't see her very much in regulation, but she's up on top as a forward in place of Frankel on that left side. CSU put Nicholson right back out there. Ashley Miller came off.
Yes, Coach Wiggins tried to figure it out, that third forward, you know, since Label is not able to play. You know, he tried to figure out, can somebody produce something on that left side. Obviously, we know about Montgomery and Howell, what they can do, but he needs that third forward too.
They chip it forward for Howell. Davis, the clearance, out to the side. Zickert right there. Montgomery with it on her foot. Wade, a good job to come challenge. Right back off to Zickert, out wide for Scully. Scully out wide left, Calder defending. They'd love to set up a corner here with 4.5 to go. Back heel to herself. Montgomery got the shot off, and it was blocked by Davis. Good little, just nifty heel touch towards the net. And Davis deflected it out, and they will draw the corner.
They tried to pull Stephanie Kolwitz against Clayton State, same outside of the foot, touch and goal. But once again, Davis.
So
That's
corner
the name.
kick coming here for Wingate. This is light body up from her outside back spot. CSU with all but one player in the box. Near post, and Davis cleared.
She's amazing.
Now it's Nicholson 1-on-2, and she'll force a throw coming up as that ball winds up a few rows deep in the stands right at midfield with under 4 minutes to go now. First of 2 potential 10-minute overtime periods. A goal, though, ends it immediately.
Davis is truly unsung hero for this CSU team.
Into the back line, Cherniuk. Clearance effort was deflected. Rolling pops it back towards the net. Nobody there, though, in a white jersey for Columbus State, and Hardy comes to get it. Starts the counterattack with the roll down the right side. Fletcher flying up. Howell calling for it, and she'll get it down the right side. Larice defending, trying to shield her off. It'll get all the way through. Davis had it for a moment. The clearance deflected off, and last touch by Columbus State, and another corner kick coming for Wingate with under 3 minutes to go.
How dangerous Howell is. What a sweet touch and patience, and she touched the ball behind Larice. That's this first time that she really cleanly went behind Larice.
Fletcher right into the center. Rolling got there a shade before Montgomery did, and took it away. Montgomery was flying in from the left side, looking to one-touch it into the net. 2.5 to go. Scully drops it back. Zickert, who's been good in that midfield area. Montgomery,
Great play.
defended by Davis. Davis the first to touch it, so they let it play on. Nicholson over the top, and a foul coming up right at the midfield stripe, and they're going to
Give a
stop
yellow
the
card.
clock. And our first card of the match goes against Mackenzie Cherniuk, the defender out of Ohio.
If you coach, you would appreciate that. That's professional foul down to stop transition. She knew what she was doing. That's why she was yellow carded there. She was way late there. And it is one of those rules. Either player goes without ball or ball goes without player.
So CSU, a free kick chance. They had one from here earlier in this area that turned into a Nicole Corsione header that nearly found the net. Hardy made the save on. Davis will take it again with 2:10 to go. Into
That's
the
a good
center of the
ball.
box, near post. Hardy punches it away, but she's on the ground, and it's finally cleared away.
CSU players down on the ground. That was really strong. That's Pelletier.
And now they'll get another chance at a free kick.
I thought Hardy was short on that one, but she came and got that ball. She went through a whole bunch of players to get to it. What a goalkeeper she is.
Down to a minute 45 as Davis sets to hit another free kick towards the box. This one from a lot closer.
That's a great ball. That's
Goes
a great ball. but
Center of the net,
wow,
and
what a
Hardy
kick.
grabs it out of the air. Now you'll start with space trying to counter as the throw for Scully is a little strong, and Becca Calder comes up to win it back.
Fortunately for CSU, nobody was in front of her over there attacking that where ball came. They kind of split on that cross.
CSU going to get a deep throw coming up here as Nicholson triggers it in. She gets it back from Rolling. Nicholson with the left foot going far post, and it slid past everybody with a minute 10 to go.
Definitely CSU is more dangerous in this overtime. Another substitution for left forward.
This time Caitlin Liso. Scully coming out as the clock ticks at 50 seconds to go.
Coach Wiggins tried to find anything that will work on that left side. He changing players left and right.
He had what he wanted in Taylor Label, but she's been unable to go for much of this second half and all of overtime. Down to 30 seconds to go. CSU will have it on a throw after the deflection. Looking for the game winner in overtime. Corsione surveying the defense, drops it off, marks wide to the left for Larice. Popped it straight up in the
Good
air.
pressure.
Pelletier hits the ground, fighting with Franklin for it. Franklin clears it out for a throw with 11, down to 10 now.
Put it in the
Overtime,
mixer.
winding to a close. Marks will
That's a
hit it
great
to the
ball.
center.
That's a great ball.
It's through.
Oh.
Nicholson's shot is blocked.
Wow.
And we will head to a second overtime. Dangerous moments there in the final seconds as Columbus State got it to the center of the box, and Nicholson had it on her foot with about 4 seconds to go and just had her turnaround with the left foot blocked
That was good.
away.
Well taken, good receiving the ball, good defensive play. I was looking at Coach Chip Wiggins. He looked like as if he was about to walk in gas chamber and somebody pulled him out of it. He was really relieved,
So
the least to say.
we've played now 100 minutes of action here in the second round. And they've played 100 minutes in Hickory, North Carolina. Nothing decided in either semifinal. So they both will head to double overtime. Nothing here, 2-2 in North Carolina. Those two, the winners, will meet of those two matches. We've got one 10-minute overtime period left. If nothing happens over the next 10 minutes, to the shootout, we will go for the second straight year between these two in the second round of the NCAA tournament.
This is not boring 0-0. First half, we didn't have many chances, but second half and overtime, there's plenty of chances there. It's a good soccer. But I hate to see any of these two teams lose, but that's a harsh reality of sports.
You want to talk about how even it's been. Goals, even. Shots, 11 apiece. Corner kicks, 8 apiece. These
Wow.
two have played as even 100 minutes as you can get CSU has put a couple more shots on target than Wingate has, so Ashlyn Hardy has a few more saves than Malin Parsons does. But this has been about as good as it gets, especially for second-round soccer in the NCAA tournament. The Southeast region, very, very good. You're seeing the best right now out of the South Atlantic Conference. At least they won the tournament. You're seeing the regular season and tournament champs from the Peach Belt Conference go head-to-head. You cannot ask for much more on what's been a really good day, minus some sun, here at the Walden Soccer Complex. And we will play 10 more minutes potentially.
You know, one thing that every coach, I hate that any team lose on penalty. I hate penalties with a passion.
You just want to keep playing.
Just keep playing. You know, there got to be better way to decide the game. Just like in hockey, I was always wondering if you need to go 200 minutes, play 200, but goal has to come from field of play. I'm looking at Label. She is dressed. She's not going to play. She's definitely talking to coaching staff, and something is wrong.
They hit the field for the second overtime for Columbus State. Nicholson getting the start with Corsione and Pelletier. The rest of it's the same for Wingate. Frankel is back out there to start at the forward spot, as is Maggie Smith and Emily Scully. So this is a really different look from head coach Chip Wiggins.
Wow, they go straight for it.
Frankel, right off the opening kick, coming down to the left side of the field. The clearance deflected around, and Frankel now will just chip this one towards the net, and Malin Parsons will make the catch, but after it went over the line. So this is an interesting lineup here from Chip Wiggins. There's no Howell. Montgomery's playing in the midfield, and he's going with three youngsters up top. Smith, the sophomore, Frankel, the freshman, Scully, the freshman. Maybe ignorance is bliss here. You know, they don't know the pressure of an NCAA tournament over time.
Exactly. That was they don't have no pressure. They want to contribute. But plus, fresh legs are better than tired leg. Any fresh legs.
9 minutes to go. That is all we will play in the field of play before we head off to a shootout. 0-0 where this stands. Corsione pops the header up into the air. Montgomery wins it on the second ball. It's off now. Smith trying to get off to the races. Scully making the run out left, and that's who gets it.
A lot of movement with these new players.
The pass going back towards Montgomery, intercepted by Wade. Onto the CSU side of the field it goes. Light body deflects the pass going for Corsione. Nicholson kept it alive, though. Stepped away by Cherniuk, who's playing with a yellow card. 8.5.
Nicole Corsione looks to me a little bit tired, a little bit gassed. You know, I think maybe Chelsea Pearson would be appropriate to play.
Pelletier with the back heel touch, trying to get it to Corsione. This ball is going to stay in play, it looks like. The spin on it's going to keep it there. Pelletier gets it back to Corsione, trying to center it up. Gets over the head of Brunworth and Wade, and finally Brunworth recovered. Davis strikes it back to the center. Cherniuk, the clearance.
Just a little nudge by Wade to get to that ball.
Rolling out wide for Nicholson, who's seen pretty much all the time late in the second half and overtime now. Closing in on 7.5 to go. They play it off. Nicholson.
Good moves, Nicholson.
Nicholson dribbles past Fletcher, drops it off. Pelletier looking to cross. Stepped away by Franklin. Onto the foot of Larice. Puts it on to Pelletier, looking to center it up.
Coaching staff saying serve it.
Got it around Franklin. Left it for Marks. Wade with it. Her shot is blocked from 10 yards out. Light body stepped in the way and blocked a point-blank shot from Cassandra Wade.
They are very good, these defenders of Wingate. They're blocking everything.
Under 7 minutes to go.
I know that's composure. If Kiana Nicholson was there, she would cut that ball. She would fake that first shot, and she would cut it and get better shot than that.
Corsione's header is blocked. Marks with the left foot hits the crossbar.
Oh my God.
Does not go down.
Wow. That leave you out of breath. That sequence right now. That was very very unfortunate for CSU. At this point, I think CSU deserved that one goal for all opportunities. When you add all of them, there you go. Let's
Here's
see now.
Pelletier. Pelletier with the
Go
left
Hustle.
foot
Yes!
into the net, and it's over.
Goal! Super goal.
Kelsey Pelletier, the senior, finishes it off in double overtime.
You hate to see Montgomery, and it's her last game, but I think at the end of the day, CSU wanted to more. It might be they were fresher. Obviously, you didn't have a label, you didn't have a Howell in there, and CSU went for it and they got it. And in my book, when you subtract and add and subtract all chances and all what happened, we say it's even better chances fell to CSU way. And that goal that might have already they scored that didn't count, I think that's a well-deserved victory for CSU. But my hats off to Coach Wiggins and his team. Excellent team.
For Kelsey Pelletier, her 9th goal of the season sends Columbus State into the 3rd round of the NCAA tournament. They will take on the winner of North Georgia and Lenore Rhine. That's still going in double overtime there. Kelsey Pelletier, though, with 6:09 left in double overtime, a 104th minute goal on the part of the Lady Cougars sends them into the next round as they take down Wingate and do avenge a 2nd round loss. Overall, though, they played about as even as you could for 100 minutes. CSU was better in the Final Four, and that's the one that ultimately will decide it. We said one goal would probably win this one the way it was going, and one goal did.
It was written all over it, one goal game. Just we didn't know which way gonna go. But, I think CSU at the end deserved this victory. It was tight. It was as close as possibly you can. But CSU just had just a little bit more than Wingate did. It could be a little bit more quality, but a little bit more of strength and energy since Wingate played a very, very tough game on Friday. For Montgomery, I hate to see. I'm never going to see her play again. It was really joy to see her play.
1-0 how it finishes. They'll have a medal ceremony coming up shortly for Wingate. The Lady Cougars advancing over Wingate 1-0 in double overtime. Partner, it was fun all year long. Enjoyed it, and we'll see how far the run goes.
Hello to everybody, especially there's a good following in Europe. Hvala što se nas gledali. Thank you everybody, and I enjoyed it with my partner Steven, and my pleasure being here with you all.
We wrap up the NCAA tournament 2nd round here from the Walden Soccer Complex. 1-0, Columbus State wins it. They're moving on for Wingate. The season comes to a close right here. For everybody at Columbus State Athletics, Cougar Sports TV, my partner, Tony Frankovich, this is Stephen Williams saying so long from Columbus, Georgia.